Hey guys, what's going on today? Welcome back to Pop Culture with Pat. So today is a special day. Over the weekend, or actually on Friday, we got the official trailer for Halloween. I know, so I don't have like an official reaction like every other YouTuber has, but basically I still wanted to at least kind of put my thoughts out there. Mention some of the Easter eggs that were in the trailer for people who didn't know or didn't realize, and just basically kind of talk about what I thought about the trailer and what my thoughts are moving forward. Starting off, you have this documentary team that's visiting Myers in the institution that he's been at since he got arrested 40 years ago after the night. So they did change up the original ending as they had mentioned that they were going to do, which I'm totally fine with that. That's cool. So you do get a nice, wide shot of the sanitarium where Michael Myers is being held at, and you see the team walking up to him, and the one guy pulls out the mask. The one thing I will say about the trailer is that why would anyone allow a team to bring in the one thing that could set off a guy who went on a murder spree 40 years ago, bring that in and try and poke the bear basically. That's the one thing that I thought was a little strange. But I want to say I did see something on, I think it was like Instagram, that Ryan Turek, one of the producers, I believe, for the new Halloween movie, he mentioned something that that there is a reason behind that, so that will come into play, which that is good because that's the one thing that just kind of throws you off. Like, why would you do that? But anyways, after that happens, we eventually end up seeing the character Loomis. He is in a sketchbook, so that's kind of cool. I wonder if they're going to do, anything else with him, if they're going to have any voiceovers. I know back in H2O, I believe they got someone else to, do a voiceover of him that sounded very similar to him, so I wonder if they're going to do anything, similar to that for this movie. But either way, it's just cool to see Loomis mentioned in the film at all. So that's really nice little Easter egg to the original films and just the series in whole. The other thing, we do see three kids, walking down the street. Which is a Easter egg to the first movie as well. When you have Laurie and her friends, walking down the street in Haddonfield, very iconic scene. So that I thought was really cool. While they're walking, actually, they're talking about the one guy. He mentions that, wasn't it her grandmother's brother that killed all these babysitters, and they, her granddaughter basically says, no, that was just a story that people made up. So, they're clearly debunking, the whole brother-sister storyline, which, obviously, if you haven't heard by now, they're basically erasing everything from Halloween 1 afterwards. None of that exists in this canon, so basically it's non-existent. So it's nice that they're putting that in right in the trailer too, just so that way people know, because I have seen a ton of people on Facebook, different websites, saying that they were confused because they thought that Laurie died and all these different things. So it's good that they put that in there just to kind of clear the air. The next thing that I noticed was there's a scene in the trailer where you see a dad and his son, it looks like, driving, and they almost hit some of the patients that end up crashing in the bus that has Myers on it. And again, that scene's an Easter egg to the first film as well, where they are by Smith Grove Sanitarium, and you end up seeing Michael Myers come from behind, and eventually he puts his hand through the window and grabs the nurse. So that's very reminiscent. I wonder if they're going to have something similar to that in this film. Maybe either attack the father or the kid. That would be pretty neat. Other Easter eggs that I noticed throughout the trailer as well. You do see one of the girls from the documentary team in the bathroom, which that goes back to H2O. The beginning of the movie where you have the girl and her daughter that are in the little rest area stop that Michael Myers just happens to find while driving along. So that's a nice little Easter egg to H2O. And then the trailer cuts to, it shows a gas station where it has a guy lying on the floor His uniform's ripped off, and that's an Easter egg to Halloween 4, where Loomis goes to the gas station and finds the guy dead. Shortly after that, Myers ends up getting. You see him with the suit that he comes into the bathroom, and then we get the scene that was mentioned at the Comic-Con or whatever convention that they had in Mexico, where we initially heard about the trailer. Him dropping the teeth over into the stall, and if you pay attention, you'll actually see that it looks like the guy that he slams up into the door is the guy from the documentary team as well. So it looks like he takes out both of them rather quickly, which isn't surprising. You do something like that, yeah, you're not going to survive very long with Michael Myers around. Again, some really cool Easter eggs. Halloween 4, that's probably one of my favorite sequels of the series, just because of the atmosphere. I watch it every year when it comes on AMC. So that's just got a special place in my heart. So it's cool to see, some references to that as well. There is the scene where, eventually, we get the Halloween music playing in the background, and you do see Michael Myers. He ends up, he's walking around on Halloween night, and he runs into a couple kids. You have the classic music, score from the original film, and it's very reminiscent to the same scene in Halloween 1 where he runs into the little boy in front of the school and stops him, and he kind of looks up at him. So another Easter egg to Halloween 1. And a little bit later in the trailer too, we end up, Laurie, she's talking about, she says, do you believe in the boogeyman? You should. We end up seeing, it's in, someone's room that there is a sheet, a ghost sheet with two eyes like cut out sitting down in kind of the corner. And again, another Easter egg to the first film where, Michael Myers comes into the room with the sheet on, pretending to be, the boyfriend. Another classic scene from the first film. So it's really cool that there's quite a few throwbacks to the original film. They're putting in a lot of Easter eggs for the fans. Another thing actually that I noticed that I don't believe a lot of people have actually pointed out because it's really quick. I want to say I actually caught it on Trick or Treat Studios Facebook or Instagram, but someone actually mentioned at when the kids are kind of running around and Michael's stalking them in the streets. You do see a scene shortly after, I want to say, when Laurie says to everyone to get inside. There's 3 kids running around, and they actually have the mask from the third movie, which I thought that was really surprising. Especially since that movie had nothing to do with Michael Myers. But it is cool that they were able to throw an Easter egg in for that film as well. So, I mean, my thoughts overall, I love this trailer. I'm super pumped. Earlier in the year when I did my top 10, I mentioned to you guys that this film was, easily my most anticipated, even though we did have Infinity War. I'm a huge Halloween fan. I'm a huge horror fan. So as soon as news broke about this, last year, I was, really pumped for it. I was a little nervous that, it wasn't going to come out or it was going to get pushed back just because of some of the bigger horror franchises that's happened to recently. But now that, we have an official trailer, we have a release date, October 19th can't come fast enough. Spoilers real quick, if you don't want to hear this, little interesting piece of news that I heard from the guys over at We Watched a Movie a couple days ago. It sounds like they're more than likely we probably will get a sequel, especially if this movie does well. I guess it sounded like the writers and directors were already planning on doing a sequel and shooting them back to back, but they decided not to at the last moment. So I would assume there's a pretty good chance we're going to get a sequel to this film then. If anything, I feel like, we don't have to worry about Michael dying. If anything, I just don't, know if Jamie Lee Curtis necessarily will be back, but I definitely think that there's a good chance that we're probably going to get a sequel. Speaking of Jamie Lee Curtis, I actually, the day that the trailer came out, she was actually down in Massachusetts doing a charity event for Middlesex Community College, and I had gotten tickets to go down to there. I had gotten these tickets, a couple months ago when it got announced. And this is before, the trailer was, coming out that Friday. So it just happened to fall on the same day. So I went down there. I was, I brought my Halloween teaser poster for the new film. I was hoping to get it signed. and get like a picture with her. Unfortunately, that wasn't able to happen. She did leave pretty quickly as soon as she was basically done with the interview that she had, which that kind of sucked. But I really would have liked to meet her. But I can tell you guys that she seemed super nice during the interview. She came up to the Halloween music. She talked about the Halloween franchise, the upcoming film. She was actually going down there to film a few extra scenes for the upcoming film, and that was this week, so they're probably wrapping up on that. And then yeah, she just went through the rest of her career, talked about a couple different films as well. But yeah, she seemed like an awesome person, just really nice. Appreciated Halloween for what it was. Kind of got her started in her career, obviously. So she just seemed really down to earth, and I hope she does either come back around again, or she starts doing some conventions, because I would love to meet her in person and get her to sign some stuff. But yeah, overall I'm psyched for this movie. I want to know what you guys' thoughts are, so go ahead down below in the comments, let me know what you guys thought of the trailer. Are you looking forward to this? Are you going to be seeing it first weekend? And if there's any other Easter eggs maybe that you saw in the trailer that I might have missed, go ahead and put them down below. And yep, I will try and have a review for Hereditary up soon. I did see that this past weekend as well, so I definitely want to get that out there, get my thoughts on that. And I will hopefully see you guys soon. See ya.